heart of today is pushing people to devalue their bodies and make that separation between who they are mentally and emotionally from who they are biologically within God's created order.
Oh, yeah, I'm glad you put it that way, because what I find that Christians have a hard time, with my most recent book, Love Thy Body. It's called Love Thy Body because of what you just said. I'm trying to help people to realize that the Christian answer hinges on having a higher view of the body, and that helping them to see that the secular view actually has is a profoundly disrespectful view of the body. So let me give you an example from homosexuality, since that and transgenderism is sort of the cutting edge.
Yeah, those are the two biggest. Yeah.
So even my homosexual friends will agree that physiologically, biologically, anatomically, males and females correspond to one another, complement one another. That humans are a sexually reproducing species.
Yeah.
To embrace a same-sex identity, therefore, is essentially to deny that design. It's to say, well, why should my body shape my sense of myself? Why should my biological sex have any say in my moral choices? And so what we have to help people to see is that's a profoundly disrespectful view of the body. It's saying that even though I'm clearly biologically oriented toward the opposite sex, I'm not going to pay any attention to that. That's not going to define my moral choices. That's not going to define my identity. Let me give you an example from a woman who is a lesbian. She's fairly well known, public intellectual named Camille Paglia.
Okay.
You guys,
I'm
know
familiar
her.
with Camille, yep.
Okay, Camille Paglia. So she's a lesbian. And a feminist, but she's somewhat of an iconoclastic feminist, which is why Christians read her.
Right.
And she's, for example, she does not think sex is just a social construction. She says, no. Nature made us male and female. Humans are a sexually reproducing species. So then you ask her, well, how do you justify then being a lesbian? And this is her exact words. She said, why not defy nature? Like, nature made us male and female, but why not defy nature? After all, fate, not God, has given us this flesh. We have absolute claim to our bodies and may do with them as we see fit. So that's the logic behind homosexuality. It's nature made us this way, but if nature is a product of blind material forces, if nature is a product of mindless, purposeless forces, then our bodies have no intrinsic purpose. They give us no clue to our identity. They give us no moral message. We may do with them as we see fit. So that drives us even one step further. The ultimate question then at the base of all of these issues is, are we products? Our bodies are part of nature. So is nature a product of mindless, purposeless forces, in which case there's no purpose, no intrinsic purpose that we are morally obligated to respect? Or is nature a product of a loving creator who had us in mind when he created us, who has a purpose for us? And our bodies are therefore the handiwork of God, and we should respect them. And we should take our identity from our bodies. We should, we're holistic beings, and we should take our bodies into account when we decide who we are and how we should live. So that's the ultimate. The ultimate stance is: do we even think nature has value and dignity? And our bodies being part of nature. What's interesting is even secular people are starting to see that this is the issue. I read an interview with a 14-year-old girl who had lived as a trans boy for 3 years. She is identified as a boy at age 11.
Oh, wow.
And then reclaimed her identity as a girl at age 14. And she said, and these are her exact words, she said, the turning point came when I realized it's not conversion therapy to learn to love your body. And this was in a very secular, liberal website.
Mm-hmm. Has she started hormone replacement
or puberty
any
blockers or anything like that?
I think she had done some puberty blockers. I don't remember if she gave all the details in her. She certainly had socially transitioned.
Right,
Socially transitioned as we have a male name and male clothing and so on. But this interview came out after Love Thy Body had already been published, but it would have made a great interview.
Oh, no kidding.
To quote in a book called Love Thy Body.
Right.
So even secular people, if you read articles on transgenderism, you're critical of transgenderism, you'll find that even they are starting to say that transgender ideology represents body hatred. Body hatred. And so the message of love thy body and respect your body, that Christianity offers a basis for really respecting who God made us to be. Hello, I'm Nancy Pearcey. I'm a scholar in residence and professor of apologetics at Houston Baptist University. And here's why you should never listen to the Reverend and Reprobate show ever.